morning, everyone. My name is Vicki Jungers, and it is my great pleasure to welcome you to the Sunday morning service of the Sierra Foothills Unitarian Universalist, opening up again since the first time in March of whatever year it was. So I'm tickled to see you all here. Thank you so much for coming. Be patient with us. We're still all kind of exercising our, wow, we're back in church mode. So sometimes we miss some things or don't get things right. So just bear with us as we get our feet back on the ground. I'm joined today by our music director, Patricia Leftridge, and our new minister, the Reverend Alex De Silva Soto. And of course, we are joined by all of you. You are all welcome here today. In all the beauty of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness, you are welcome here. In the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the varied ways you move through and interact in the world, you are welcome here. With all the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Whether you come feeling despair or hope for our world and its future, you are welcome here. No matter how long you have been away, nor how soon you will return, you are welcome here. You are invited this morning to join us with an open mind, a loving heart, and a willing spirit. We welcome you here today.
Good morning. Let me try again. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you, Vicki, for partnering with me in crafting and offering this service this morning with all of you, because worship is the gather community, right? It's the work of the people. So thank you for your work. And we gather here as newcomers in the ancestral land of the Nisena, the Nisena Southern Maidu people land. And I want to add my special welcome to some newcomers, folks that are here for the first time. We have assisted listening devices in the back if you need some support. And if you have any technical difficulties during the service, raise your hand and we'll try to assist you to the best of our ability. Thank you for wearing your masks, for being vaccinated, for those who can and are able to be vaccinated. We invite you to gather outside the sanctuary after service and fellowship with each other. There's even a group that's going to go to lunch around 12:30. So gather outside the sanctuary and you may join folks for lunch. Even if it's you're here for the first time, a great way to get to know people is through breaking bread, so please don't hesitate. If you haven't been receiving the Beacon newsletter, please talk to our wonderful administrator, Vicki Jungers. And if you are not in the mailing list, please share your contact with us. There's some yellow cards in the back for you to share your information with us, to be in touch with us so we can be in touch with you and share all the wonderful things that happen here in our community. Yeah.
We light our chalice this morning with these words from a 13th, 14th century mystic monk, Meister Eckhart, translated by Daniel Ladinsky, The Hope of Loving. What keeps us alive? What allows us to endure? I think it is the hope of loving, or being loved. I heard a fable once about the sun going on a journey to find its source, and how the moon wept without her lover's warm gaze. We weep when light does not reach our hearts. We wither like fields if someone close does not rain their kindness upon us. And now I would invite you all to rise as you are willing and able. I know we can't sing, but we can hum and we can get the blood flowing. And our opening hymn this morning is Come, Come, Whoever You Will.
so fun. And thank you, Jeff, for the interpretive dance. You should have checked it out. Awesome interpretive dance. Was very inspiring. Thank you. And thank you, Patty, for your wonderful gifts. So I want to point out, well, it's the same space, right? Same sanctuary, but there's a special corner here. And we had a great group of children this morning at the 9 o'clock. And together we named this the Peace Ground, right? It was the Peace Ground, yes. So it's like a playground because they can play and peacefully, right? So doing some peace activities, which include a nap. So children are encouraged to take a nap if they like. Here in the sanctuary, there's soft toys also. So they know that they have a dedicated spot for them and for their families as well. Because our religious education programs are offered at the 9 o'clock service, and the 11 o'clock service, we are encouraging an intergenerational service. So to have little ones, not so little ones, folks of all ages and stages in their journey. So that's the intention. This is to be known as the Peace Ground, yeah? And any ideas you may have? I had a wonderful conversation with one of our parishioners this last week, and she's a childhood education specialist and special ed, and wonderful ideas about how to make sure that children are included, fully included, right? And they feel right at home, right here in this holy place. So I also had a message, a little story with them. I asked one of the kids, and I think it was you, right, Sam? Sam was my volunteer to mimic to an animal. So
it was actually my brother.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, it was Milo, not you. You read it like the sheet. Okay, and now you're working behind the screen. So thank you for all your labor today. Yes, a lot of jobs. So no wonder I'm thinking you're doing everything, because you kind of are. So do I have a volunteer? Someone that would like to play a game of mimicking an animal? Anyone? The inner child? Yeah, that you would like to do? Anyone?
I'll do it.
You do it? Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to show you a picture of a little animal.
Okay.
And you're encouraged to mimic, so not telling us the name of the animal, but you can make sounds too. So we'll guess it. This is amazing, yeah. I don't think, yes, please, clap, yes, thank you very much. That was amazing. So who can guess the animal we're talking about? A bee, thank you, yes, a bee. Buzzing around, there's some honey there, if you couldn't tell, and the little things there, a little bit of honey, and apples too, so thank you so much, Suzanne. So, honey, right, and bees. I have some questions about bees. Some of you might be beekeepers. But I wonder, who knows how long a bee lives? Any guesses?
A year.
A year? A little less. Well, a lot less, actually. 6 months? A little bit less. We're getting close, yeah. A month, a little bit more, 40 days. That's pretty close, 40 days. So a bee normally lives about 40 days. How many flowers do you think a bee visits? Lots, yes. Do you want to put a number on it?
10,000. 40,000.
Okay, a little bit less. Remember, 40 days. 40 days. They're busy bees. They're busy bees, yes. 1,000 flowers, average. So 1,000 flowers during 40 days of a lifespan of a bee, right? And how much honey do you think this bee would produce during its lifetime?
2 tablespoons. Half a teaspoon.
A teaspoon. Yeah, so not a lot. right? For an entire lifespan. And 1,000 flowers, right? So I wanted to bring this wonderful life story, right, of bees, and thank you for embodying the bee, the beeness of bees, and their labor of love during their entire lifespan being one single teaspoon of honey. And that can make someone feel, maybe I'm not doing a lot. And I encourage the children to think about their labor and to reflect that whatever labor of love they offer in the world, into the world, it's just perfect and it's just enough. And it's really important that they do that. I asked them how hard it was to get up in the morning, and it was hard. It was hard, so that's labor of love. And it may seem like, I'm just going to church, drag there. But their presence puts a smile on my face, I know for sure. And it may brighten up the hearts and the day of so many people just to see them here, present, just be. So that was the encouragement. That was the refresher, I suppose, the reminder. And I encourage everyone this morning to join in solidarity and empathy and compassion with our Jewish siblings. Because Rosh Hashanah is coming up. It's on, from Tuesday to Thursday. On Monday, this week, let's put it there. Because then you have to sunset to sundown. Anyhow, Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of a new cycle, the beginning of a new year, right? And one of the traditions within our Jewish siblings' culture and faith practice is to dip apples in honey and to eat it as a good wish for a sweet and nutritious, right, and delicious year, and delicious cycle starting out. So I encourage you, we have enough for the children for sure, so we don't have for the entire congregation, but for you that would like some additional sweetness in your life, after the service, you're welcome to come forward and take some honey, take an apple, and join in solidarity with our Jewish brothers and sisters as they start their new year and as we start a new cycle back in the building, right? And a new church calendar, right? So may the fruits of all of our labors be enough and be sweet and nourishing to all. And perfect. Just in case, you need all the answers there. And we have a reading that I'd like to share with you this morning. It's an excerpt from Marge Piercy's The Art of Blessing the Day. But the discipline of blessing is to taste each moment. The bitter, the sour, the sweet, and the salty. And be glad for what does not hurt. The art is in compressing attention to each little and big blossom of the tree of life. To let the tongue sing each fruit, its savor, its aroma, and its hues. Attention is love, what we must give children and mothers, fathers, pets, our friends, and the news and the O's of others. What we want to change with curse, and then pick up a tool, bless whatever you can with eyes, hands, and tongue. If you can't bless it, get ready to make it new. And I invite Vicky to come forward and share with us her reflections.
In October of 1993, on a lazy Saturday afternoon, I was reading the Auburn Journal a son born with a 4-month baby bump of my second child, and my 2-year-old daughter Shelby played nearby when I saw the small church section of the paper that listed local churches and worship times. I couldn't believe it when I read that there was actually a Unitarian Universalist church in Auburn. My husband and I had moved to Auburn just 2 years earlier, and between getting settled in the new area with our business and having our first child, I had not had much time to meet new people. And although I had been introduced to UUism with my parents when I was 15 and had attended the Unitarian Church in Wisconsin until I went off to college, at this moment in 1993, I hadn't actually been thinking at all about any need for a spiritual community or a return to actively attending church. But when I saw there was actually a UU church in Auburn, I thought, free childcare. And maybe an interesting or inspirational, thought-provoking message from a liberal Unitarian Universalist. So this sounded pretty good to me. Back then, SFUU held services at the little church chapel in the DeWitt Center, and the service time was 4 o'clock in the afternoon. While I did think this was a particularly odd time to go to church, it coincided for me with my husband's love of afternoon football games, and it was before dinner, so it worked out perfectly for me. And thus began my story with SFUU. Over the past 2 weeks, as Rev Alex has asked us to explore what it is that makes us tick, what gives you inspiration or inspires us to action. They have also asked us to then consider how that passion or love or interest inspires us in relationship to this church community and to the world at large. And today we ask you to go a little bit further and consider how it is that you came to be in this place that you are today. Not just in this building or this community, although it is making my heart explode with joy to see so many beautiful humans inside our sacred space today. But today we want you to ask yourself, what are the foundations or people or beliefs that you bring with you from your past that continue to support the light within you, or feed your support system in the continuation of what makes you tick and continues to guide you on your personal spiritual journey? What labor of love, what labor of love brought you to where you are, or perhaps influences you still in the ways you step forward into your daily life? When I first pondered that question, what makes me tick, my typical response, as I am often asked to make a global decision, is typically nothing specific. For I feel like I am one of those people who is a little bit good at a whole lot of things, and not particularly great at any one thing. Nor do I see myself as a hugely passionately driven person for any one thing. Or so I have always felt. But if I was truly to answer this question, for myself, it would have to be that loving and caring for the people in my life is really what makes me tick. The labors of love from others have always been present in my life, and I've been very fortunate in that regard. I was loved and cared for well by my parents. I have 3 sisters, and our childhoods were happy ones. We were the Sanders girls, and we grew up loved and respected and happy, not just from our parents, but from the friends they made, and from the larger and loving wide circle of relatives that I had. It is only as I grew older in life that I truly came to understand what a phenomenal gift a loving upbringing is. So in having such a foundation from which to spread my wings, most of my heart and inspirations in life were inspired by the love of my family. When in high school, as I mentioned, my parents joined our local Unitarian church, I became an active member of the youth group there, LRY, which stood for Liberal Religious Youth to UUA, and to the people that attended LRY, it was known as the Little Red Yo-Yo Club. This experience and my time as an LRYer would further support my love and care for people, and was probably the most highly influential time in my young life. It was a time in which I gained confidence and skills in leadership, friendship, and the beginning of my desire to actually care about looking at the world and how I could make the world a better place. It is one reason I feel such enormous pride and joy at the close connections I see here between the children that attend here at SFUU. When I see them here together, I am filled with as much pride and love as I have felt for my own children, for I see the influences of this faith and their parents' love and support for them, and my heart feels very hopeful for our future. Once I married and became a parent, my giving nature and need to love and care for others found full focus when I became a mother. I am forever grateful that my life was such that I could be a full-time mother, for that time in my life gave me purpose and fulfillment every day. Striving to raise children who would step well into the world with love and with the confidence to find out what makes them tick and to pursue that. And I'm proud that my husband and I appear to have succeeded in that goal. My children, from my perspective, are bright and shiny, loving souls in the world, and I look forward daily to see where else they will take their light, knowing they will always find time to come back and share it with us. So my past has clearly brought me to where I am today, standing here in front of all of you, carrying forward all the gifts, not just from the people in my family, but from all the folks who have passed through my life within this church community. The leaders, the children, the volunteers, the friends, the members, the visitors, and the ministers. So many who gave me so much and who are tightly woven into and forever a part of the fabric of my life. And now the SFUU of today, and all of its people, and all of the gifts I have received here for almost 30 years, continue to weave their way into my spiritual journey and support me in the work that I do in the world. For in putting my thoughts together today, it became clear how important my labor of love for this community is to me. As much as SFUU came to my rescue nearly 30 years ago and changed my life, it stepped in again as I looked to my future as an empty nester. Once my children were out of the house and my purpose in life felt a lot different. I still had a lot of love and care still left to give, but felt no immediate purposeful outlet. Then one day, just a little over 2 years ago, I decided I was agreed to become staff here at SFUU by becoming your administrator. It is not just that I am honored to do this work, but it brings me fulfillment. Every aspect of this job for me is a joy. It inspires me, it pushes me to greater skills, and it provides a satisfaction in my soul that I get to support the organization of this community in a way that helps us spread the beauty of this faith community out into the world. Through all of my time with SFUU from the beginning, when I needed a faith community, to now, when a faith community had need of me, I have come to understand that in my life, the labor of love is really just love. We all know that love, while being the ultimate gift, can also be one of the most difficult and the most challenging. Love is not always easy. To labor in love is not always fun or simple, but we also know that doing the work of love will always bring a reward. So I encourage you to remember that what you labor for need not always show up in the world as the greatest of all efforts. Understand and find joy in all that you labor for, even the smallest of things. It is easy to feel less valued when you feel your contributions are small. But I believe there is no small act of love. That it is important to remember that every action you take for the benefit of your growth or that of another has greater value than you may ever realize. One need not be a mover or a shaker to make a difference. It is the sharing of your love and your gifts, your time and your talents that move the world, not the greatness of that action. And as you continue to ponder what makes you tick and how you bring your heart and love into the world, Always remember that when you think you cannot do the big thing, consider the little thing that you can do, and then just do it with love.
Thank you, Vicki. That was a lovely reflection on your labor of love and the labor of love that has brought you here. And at this time, I encourage you to continue on this spiritual exercise we've been engaged in for 3 weeks. As Vicki reminded us, we started off with the question, what makes you tick spiritually? What gets you moving? Right? And Joe shared with us 3 weeks ago that getting up in the morning with the intention to love the world, that's what gets her going. That is what gets her ticking. We had the blessing of Amy last Sunday connecting her passion, her vision for this community of faith, how it all comes together in this fantastic economy of love and expression of labors of love. And Vicki this morning connecting with her ancestors and everybody that labored on her behalf. So we're going to pause at this moment because the community could not come together and mourn collectively the passing of 3 persons, part of our community, because of COVID. So we're going to remember those 3 individuals. And I encourage you to think of the ones that have labored for you to be here this morning. Their contributions, their love that brought you here. And you have a piece of paper there on your chair so you can take this time, write down the names of those individuals. We're going to honor them. We're going to memorialize them together. So take this time, feel free to go as far back as you like in your personal journey, your personal history. Remember those with love and those that their love sustained you through this journey. So this morning, we remember Carol Arvey. And we remember Bill Ewald. And remember the life, the labor of love of Aileen Thim. And as we memorialize these 3 individuals that walked with you and journeyed with you, and the individuals that you remembered and you wrote down, Patty will play some music so we can continue to connect with them in our meditation, in our own reflections, in our own prayers. At the end of the service, you're welcome to leave your card with the names that you wrote down on the altar, or please bring it home and place it on your holy ground and your holy spaces in your own home. I invite you to please receive the reading, this brief reading from Rough Translations from the Circle of Grace by Jan Richardson. If we do believe that love remains, let us not grow weary, seeking its presence, searching all the world for signs of life we might nurture together. We'll spend a few more minutes, maybe minutes, with music, yes, for as long as our music director feels moved to bless us. And it's a moment when the community of faith, the gathered ones, remember the ones that may not be here physically present, but might be in need of our love, of our attention, of our empathy and solidarity. So we share our sorrows, we share our joys, because we know that sorrows become lighter when we share them, and the joys multiply exponentially when we share them. This morning I want to encourage prayer practice, a meditation practice from the Buddhist and Hindu tradition called metta practice. And some of you might be familiar with the word metta. It means loving kindness. So wishing well to someone or some circumstances, vibrating positively and holding in compassion a circumstance that could use some love and compassion and some empathy. You also notice as you came into the sanctuary that we have a new Joys and Sorrows notebook. It's a gorgeous book, so thank you, Vicky, for picking it up. So as you write your joys and your sorrows here, they will be shared with the community via eBeacon, our electronic newsletter. And please, if you pray for somebody else, make sure that you have permission to share any details you're sharing, because these prayers are public. So I like to make that very clear as well. So I will briefly read the prayers for this morning, and we'll engage into a loving kindness practice. Yeah? So let us be in a spirit of meditation, reflection, and prayer. Joy to be together in person again. And this is a prayer from Stevie, Leo, Janine, Mary Lou, and Fred. Janet and F. Mills, our friend from 50 years. Dave Fletcher, who died 2 weeks ago. Prayer from David Brody for getting a new job. And prayers and thoughts for Dad Gary Brody, Barb Brody, Matt Brody, Laura Zenselski, and daughter Juliana. And prayers and feelings of sorrow for Debbie Bittencourt, his mom who passed. we join Suzanne Worth, thrilled to share she got a new job as a C&I specialist for the district office. So let us take a deep breath, taking in all these joys and sharing in the sorrows and breathing out, letting go. We're embarking on a metta practice. You can stay with these joys and these sorrows, or you can bring to mind someone in need of prayer. Maybe it could be yourself. So thinking of yourself, or thinking of a circumstance, or a group of individuals in need of loving kindness. And traditionally, there's a mantra or a short well-wish that gets repeated. For instance, this morning I'm bringing up to mind and to my loving practice prayer, the women in Texas and the people that are unfortunately victims of natural and man-made disasters. So I'll bring them to mind and I'll say these words either out loud or in my heart. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering and the root of suffering. I'll think of them again. I may say their names in my mind or in my heart. And now say, may you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering and the root of suffering. So I encourage you to hold that individual or the groups or their circumstances in your mind and repeat out loud or say in your heart. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering and the root of suffering. Let's do it again. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering and the root of suffering. One third time. May you be happy. May you be at peace. May you be free from suffering and the root of suffering. Amen. Asher. Salam. Shalom. Namaste. And any other words of agreement. Blessed be. Yes. And friends, this is a practice that I encourage you to try out, because one short good wish, it's a really handy practice for me when I'm driving. It deters me from other practices of, other statements and hand gestures. So I'm confessing. So I try to the best of my ability. So I encourage you to continue in this spirit of prayer and loving kindness throughout your week. And music can be also a wonderful practice, right, for healing and for loving. So Patty will bless us with a pastoral hymn. We are not, it's not going to be a loving thing for us to sing out loud. So we're going to hum, because that's the loving thing, right? Less particles in the air. So we're going to hum along and rejoice.
It is often said that the offering is the sacrament of the free church. That is to say, everything this congregation is and has is only what we bring to it. Our time, our talents, and our treasures. In person, this is embodied by the powerful ritual of literally passing the plate and chipping in. You also now, in our modern time, in our time of COVID, have the option of using a text to give option, and that option can be used anytime, any day, any hour that you wish to give to SFUU. As part of our ethic of generosity, we also split our monthly collection with a local community organization that aligns with our values. And this month, the Share the Plate recipient is the NorCal Resist. I'll read an offering to you today while we take the offering. I stood before a silkworm one day, and that night my heart said to me, I can do things like that. I can spin skies. I can be woven into love that can bring warmth to people. I can be soft against a crying face. I can be wings that lift. And I can travel on my 1,000 feet throughout the earth, my sacks filled with the sacred. And I replied to my heart, Dear, can you really do all those things? And it just nodded yes, in silence. So we began, and will never cease. Again, to please rise as you are willing or able and join us in humming our closing hymn. It is When Your Heart is in a Holy Place.
All right. Are you feeling inspired?
Yes.
Loved?
Yes.
Yes, please? Yes? Okay, good. All right. Here's a benediction from the mystic monk Meister Eckhart. All day long, a little burro labors, sometimes with heavy loads on her back, and sometimes just with worries about things that bother only burros. And worries, as we know, can be more exhausting than physical labor. Once in a while, a kind monk comes to her stable and brings her a pear. But more than that, he looks into the burro's eyes and touches her ears. And for a few seconds, the burro is free and even seems to laugh. Because love does that. Love frees. Please join one another in our words to extinguish the chalice. As we go forth, may we carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again. Blessed be